Hello and welcome. If you are watching this, then you are going to listen to the speech evaluating Mr. McDonald's personal experience speech. As always, this is a way for you to learn how to evaluate speeches and what you'll be graded on. All right, so it says directions. Below is the sheet. I'm going to highlight that in red for me on future. I teach speech a lot. Stop it. Stop. There we go. Bold that up. Alright, below is the sheet that I'll be using to grade your personal experience speech. You'll be receiving a grade for a peer review as well as evaluating me. I want us to practice. Listen to my speech and grade me accordingly. Below is what I am looking for during this speech. I will grade you on a scale from 1 to 5 with 5 being the highest. I want you to do the same with me. Wait until the speech is finished to complete this portion. So the first thing is, was the speaker enthusiastic about the subject? This is saying, was I boring, kind of, and not necessarily information. More along the lines of I was speaking something sad, I was sad. I was speaking of something that was happy, I had a lot of enthusiasm behind that subject. So enthusiasm doesn't necessarily mean that I'm happy, happy, go, go, happy, happy, joy, joy. But it doesn't mean that I am putting some voice behind my words. The speaker structured the speech in a proper order. So this is where your introductions and conclusions come into play. I'm going to expect good ones when you speak as far as using one of the strategies that we talked about in class. And the other thing is, am I getting lost in your story? Does your story make sense? Are you all over the place? Or do you know what is happening during my personal experience? Did the speaker deliver the speech with authority? Authority is confidence. Authority is being able to be heard. Authority is not screwing up. Authority is being able to look slightly at the audience. And obviously, this is a tougher one as far as with grading this stuff as I speak, but it's what it is. Were the speaker's language, gestures, and facial expressions appropriate to the material? So this is something that's new. And get used to it because we're going to be using it a lot. Gestures are gestures are things that you do with your hands. So you'll see, like I talk a lot with my hands. I'll try to display it on hand. I'll try to display a little bit on screen here. But they're appropriate to my speech. I'm not just like, Allah, hello class, Allah, I'm doing gestures. They go along with what I'm saying. As you can see also, maybe you might not be a person that does many facial or many gestures, but you might be somebody that does facial expressions. So facial expressions are also very important as far as during your speech. You may also choose to do because not a lot of us necessarily talk with our hands. Maybe we do things like face, like, oh, I'm shocked. Those different things are important to include in your speech. As always, I want you to go through and grade and explain your grades. This is something that you guys are lacking a little bit in your explanations. So for example, I gave you your score for enthusiasm because your story was about you displayed this. I gave you a score for structuring your speech in a proper order because I saw what you're doing with your introduction. I saw what you're doing with your conclusion. Like, explain the stuff that you see with that. I gave you your speech for delivering your speech with authority because, and look for, did I mess up? Look for, could you hear me? Look for all these different little elements to show confidence, that show what I know what I'm talking about and I'm delivering the speech correctly. I gave you a score for language, gestures, and facial expressions because I'm going to expect at the very minimum of 3 gestures during your speech in order for you to get anywhere near 5. And those 3 gestures have better be appropriate to your speech. If you have problems with that stuff, when you're writing your speech, let me know, and we'll go over it. Write down 3 things that you notice as I give my speech. It would be things that you like, dislike, things that you hear and remember, or anything else that comes to your mind. You may want to write these things down while I'm talking. Just remember that you need to have at least 3 things. So I would recommend doing this while I'm talking. I would have this document open, and I would have these 3 things. You can always pause this stuff, but find out 3 things that you see about my speech. Just looking, this is a copy of my speech. I'll let you know right now that I will just be reading it straight off this paper. The bullet points are for you guys to look through later. The things that I have in bold are actually my gestures. So I am going to do those gestures. But whether or not you can see them on camera is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the speech. I don't like spiders. They're big, hairy, and frankly, I find them a little bit creepy. I run into these foul beasts all the time with their beady eyes and fangs that drip venom. I know that everyone may not be afraid of spiders, but imagine if you were to open your eyes and all of a sudden, BAM! Right in front of you is a spider that is 40 feet tall, hissing at you and creeping towards you. I think that would freak a lot of us out, but luckily that has never happened to me, and I hope no one else either. Something that has happened to me though is that I've opened my eyes and have been 420 feet in the air, crashing down at a 90-degree angle going 100 miles per hour. Yes, besides spiders, I'm also definitely afraid of heights, and this is my personal experience of riding the world's fastest and tallest roller coaster, the Top Thrill Dragster. First, I'll explain how I got into this mess. My friends all wanted to go to Cedar Point, a roller coaster amusement park. I thought this would be fun, but I secretly didn't want to go because I had never been on a roller coaster and never wanted to do so. After some mild peer pressure, I caved pretty easily. I was on a 14-hour road trip to Ohio before I knew what happened. The second thing that happened was when we got to Cedar Point. The entire trip, I was thinking of excuses to get out riding any roller coasters. I feel sick, or I can hold your things, but these were lame excuses. The moment we got there, my friends immediately said what I had dreaded most. Let's ride Top Thrill Dragster! I wanted to shoot myself. Next, I found myself in line. There were 2 cars per train, and we had 5 people. My friends quickly grouped with each other. Traitors! Before I knew it, I was sitting next to a single mom scared for my life and ready to pee myself. All I saw was a stoplight, and before I knew it, I shut my eyes and was launched off at 120 miles per hour. After that, I found myself 420 feet in the air, screaming my lungs out, and then we stopped. It was over at last. I hadn't peed myself, and I survived. I breathed a sigh of relief, opened my eyes, and there I was, 420 feet in the air, spiraling down at a 90-degree angle. OMG, I was at the top of the roller coaster. I couldn't believe it. It was just plummeting down to my death. The roller car came off the tracks. We smashed in the ground and everyone died. Okay, obviously not. The car came to a stop. I was scared out of my mind, but man, that was a fantastic rush. All in all, sometimes the things we fear can be the most exciting experiences of our lives. I rode like 10 roller coasters that day before calling it quits. I'm not exactly running to another theme park or anything or confronting my fear, but confronting my fears was well worth it. Now let's say I walked in a room with a giant spider. Well, I don't think I would like that too much. So take some time to go through here and grade my speech. And of course, look down at that. Watch the video again if you need to. But besides that, that's all I got. So I hope that you guys found this informative. I hope you found it enjoyable. If you have any questions for your speech, let me know. And have a great day. Love you all.